Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready for another exciting episode of Weather with Enthusiasm. Thank you, audience. I am your podcaster, weather enthusiast, Simcha Lefton. There's so much going on right now in this country, so much going on in the world, so much heat. There's so much to talk about. We're going to get right to it. A powerful heat dome, an upper-level ridge is centered right over the Midwest, right over the Iowa area, parts of it going into the Missouri, Kansas, southeast Minnesota, even portions of southwest Wisconsin. This heat ridge is at 598 decimeters, a powerhouse producing intense heat, especially heat indices across the Midwest. Midwest Corn Belt reporting heat indices of about 109 degrees in Des Moines, Iowa. Heat index in Chicago, 105 degrees. This was as of 4 p.m., August 26th, Monday afternoon. Heat indices up between 105 and 109 for many places in the Midwest. You go down to St. Louis, temperature sizzling 99 degrees, but heat index only 103. That's because the real humidity takes place over the Midwest Corn Belt and then blows into Illinois. Now, the blowing is a very serious problem because for those people who love the heat, because the heat index is only made for 5.6 mile per hour winds. So 10 mile per hour winds almost cancels out the heat index. Chicago temperature 96 degrees. Good news for heat lovers, because when temperatures are higher than 95, even at 95, but certainly higher than 95, the winds actually make it feel hotter than what it actually is. So it's hot in the Chicago area, but regarding the extreme heat, well, officially maybe yes, but the winds do kind of die it down. Tonight we look for a really warm, humid night, mid-70s, but after tomorrow, we're going to skip over to the Persian Gulf. Then we're going to come back into the country over here. Tomorrow's high temperature back into the 90s. Possible lake breeze develops. But Joliet, Illinois, looking for a wet bulb globe temperature. A wet bulb globe temperature. Here, the audience, we need a drum roll. Of 90 degrees. Very intense wet bulb globe temperatures. This is stuff that in Phoenix, Arizona, when temperatures were in the upper 100 and teens, they also had a wet bulb globe temperature of 90 degrees. Another spot in the world where the wet bulb temperature, not even the wet bulb globe temperature, just the wet bulb temperature, 90 degrees, is right on the coast of the United Arab Emirates and other coastal cities right along the Persian Gulf. We have some phenomenal stuff going on over there. Winds blowing off the sizzling 96 degree water at depth over the Persian Gulf is causing temperatures in the middle of the night. The models are forecasting temperatures to drop, it drops into the low 90s. Afternoon high 108. Dropping into the low 90s by 10 o'clock p.m., but it stops. Temperatures rise back into the mid-90s as the winds blow in off the Persian Gulf. The sizzling waters of the Persian Gulf blow in hot steam into the city, the big city over there. Not Dubai, it's a different city, Dahabu, whatever it is. You could look at a map. It's very clear what I'm talking about. I don't have to say the name of the city. It starts with a D. That's all you need to know. It's on the coast there, and it's hot steam coming in off the ocean. Dew points rising to 86 degrees this evening. It was 87 degrees as of 9 p.m. today, and the high temperature there today, 108. European computer model forecasted 103. Another model said 104. High was 108 because the dew point temperatures dropped. Something totally phenomenal. Now we're going to go ahead and check to make sure that the music and the background music is on. I do want to say what has been playing is called Atlantic Tunes Calm. It's background from Podcast Maker. The YouTube has the actual people who sing this. But we're going to go now into inspiration stems melody from Megan Wolford before we go into something else. Temperatures rising back into the mid-90s for some of those coastal cities as you go into the night. Can you imagine that? Heat index between 125 and 133 in the late evening, just sizzling heat with calm winds over there. At night in general, the winds just calm. They become calm. Temperatures go right back up to close to 110 for tomorrow. That's by the United Arab Emirates. Very intense heat over there, without a doubt. Here in the Midwest, back to the Midwest, heat comes to an end for the Midwest Corn Belt. Today is the final day of heat in the Midwest Corn Belt, but heat moves into Joliet, Illinois, parts of central Illinois for tomorrow. It's the wet bulb globe temperatures are the hottest in the country over the Midwest Corn Belt for today. There's no question about it. Hotter than any other state. No, without a doubt. Go tomorrow, it's going to be centered over Illinois and Indiana. This is a heat ridge that's right in the middle of the country. Let's go back to the Atlantic Ocean. We started to speak about it last week. It's not only was there a drastic drop in ocean water temperatures by the equator in the east tropics of the Atlantic Ocean. It's not just that. You know what the water temperatures are if you look on windy.com? It's not even warm enough for a hurricane. If a hurricane should form, put it like this, if a hurricane should form, it's happened before. The water temperatures are under 80 degrees over a large area over there, right in the middle of the tropics, the brutal heat, middle of the tropics. Ocean water temperatures have dropped to under 80 degrees. They're into the upper 70s. This is like winter Miami Beach. And you have to go into the east, that's the west. That's in the East Tropics. You have to go over to the West Tropics before you really start to feel the heat again in those water temperatures. Go back into the mid-80s, even upper 80s, and even some locations 90 degrees as you head up into the Gulf of Mexico. But all of that, we have water temperatures in the upper 70s over there. Now, the thing is, though, most of the area where hurricanes form, most of that area still has water temperatures above 80 degrees, but there is a little bit of that area in the southern portions which doesn't. So, the impact this is going to have on the hurricane season remains to be seen. The possibilities as to why the water dropped, it remains a mystery as far as I know. Record drops, but volcanoes in the bottom of the ocean is a good likelihood. That's a good possibility. The upwelling is when you have the cold water from the bottom moves up to the surface. That's not such a good theory because the surface winds just do not support upwelling. Okay, enough with that. Now we're going to move back over here into the St. Louis, Missouri area. The heat is on. They're going to be under this upper ridge. They're going to be within the heat dome for many, many days this week. Just really hot weather day after day after day, because people who are familiar with the weather in St. Louis know that in St. Louis it's not a 1 or 2 day shot of hot air, but the heat just continues and goes on and on. Now I see that again, we're back to the Inspiration Stems Melody, Megan Wolford. Thank you for listening. I hope everybody enjoyed. Please stay safe. And if you enjoyed, you can feel free to provide your feedback like a cheer. That is so wonderful, crowd. And I also must point out that tomorrow afternoon, we still do have a chance for a thunderstorm here in the Chicago area. Who here likes thunderstorms? Oh, yeah, thunderstorms. Who here likes the heat? Yes! Yeah, that's what I thought. And that's that. Several additional feet of snow is expected by Monday morning. Yes! We have a powerhouse typhoon which has developed off in the Pacific Ocean. A big shockaroo to many of you. This is especially true in regards to what's going to be going on in Alaska. We have parts of the world that are so hot right now. Temperatures are expected to go into the low 130s. We have a special guest on our show. What is your name? A heat wave that's going to be headed to the Joliet area. We're going to have to wait before we get into the next excitement. We're going from one extreme to the next extreme. 27.1 barometric pressure. Feet of snow are falling in Japan.
Oh my gosh.
Celebration. Just Google weather with enthusiasm and they're all going to come up.